towards the end of my career, one of my stops was as the chief of staff of the National Utility Workers Union of America. We represented the workers at Con Ed and Detroit Ed, and for example, and the workers at Philadelphia Gas. And I have a sense of what it would take to rebuild an energy capacity and infrastructure that is not fossil fuel. And that means, we've got to tighten up all of the lines, all of the transmission lines and transmission capacity. We can't afford the line loss that we have now over lines for new energy. We've got to we've got to build wind turbines in this country, in steel made in this country. It's very, very doable. And we have to build solar panels in this country. It's already being done. We just have to expand it. And we have been invited by our Creator to invest in energy that saves the world and saves our species. We've been invited by our Creator, given the opportunity to harness energy that's free, to harness energy that's already there. It doesn't have to be mined. It doesn't have to be extracted. It doesn't have to be burned. It doesn't have to emit any pollution. And why in heaven would we not take that opportunity? And so we know that Rockwool is here not to provide the little 150 jobs. I mean, it's not going to be 150 jobs, and why would you pay $10 million in tax abatements for 100 jobs? It's been brought here by Governor Justice and by the, by the folks amongst us who are only concerned about themselves and their wallets. It's been brought to us because it's a market for fossil fuels. And the last thing we need to do to save our Earth and to save our species is to create markets for outdated fuels. It's really catastrophic. It's really unbelievable. It is exactly the wrong direction that we need to be going in. Now, here's something a lot of people don't know about Rockwool, is they're using different technology in other places to create the heat, the amount of BTUs that it takes to spin molten rock into insulation, which is a bizarre process, if you ask me anyway. But they're using much more highly advanced electrical ways to produce the BTUs it takes to do that. So they're not even willing to build this plant in West Virginia in the most efficient and least polluting way possible. They want to use the oldest, most cumbersome, the most clunky, and the dirtiest processes possible. So there's nothing I can do more important about the climate crisis in America today than fight to stop Rockwool from coming into the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. Well, numbers of people are very important in social justice fights and environmental justice fights and economic justice fights. I've always taught people across 40 years of organizing that there's two ways, that power is not negative nor positive. Power is neutral. It's how you get things done. And in America, we have two forms of power. One is money, which is the predominant form of power right now, and the other is numbers of people. The power of massive numbers of people is expressed at at the voting booths. But it's also expressed in demonstrations. It's expressed in changing economic climates. It's expressed in stopping business as usual. And so the power of numbers is incredibly important to us here in this fight. And in fact, in this movement, this big movement across Jefferson County and across the Eastern Panhandle, the movement that goes beyond organizational lines, I've been so ecstatic to watch this organic movement with mass numbers of people, hundreds of people turning out week after week after week for county commission meetings, city council meetings, public utilities commission hearings, whatever it is. People turning out to stop the pipeline that would feed Rockwool. It's incredibly important. If you're against Rockwool and you're concerned about the health of your children and the health of your neighbor's children, and you're concerned about what we're doing to the climate and the environment, please become active and resist Rockwool. Become active in Jefferson County Vision. Become active in CCAR. Become active in whatever organization you feel most comfortable in to fight this Rockwool monster, this heavy, dirty, pollution-emitting corporate monster, global corporate monster of Rockwool.